In 1974, in England, how did Republican prisoner Frank Stag die?
Frank Stag was on hunger strike. He was being force fed, and to force feed a prisoner, they used a clamp, and they clamped open your mouth, and they put a hose pipe through a little hole in the middle of the clamp, and they forced the hose pipe down into your gullet, and they poured liquid in there. And Frank, and I can't remember what day of his hunger strike he was on.
Second hunger strike.
It was the second hunger strike that had been on. He choked in the course of being forced fed. Gerry Kelly, who's a Sinn Féin leader back home and one of our elected members, Gerry was a couple of hundred.
270.
Gerry was 270 days on hunger strike, along with Marion Price and Dolores Price and Q Finney. There were 270 days on hunger strike, which is a long time to be force fed.
And also Pat Sheehan, too, right?
Yeah, well, Pat was in a different situation. Pat was one of the hunger strikers in the H blocks of Long Cache. The whole concept of hunger strikes, I was only in, well, we did a fast food strike on the Maidstone, but we also, in solidarity with other prisoners who were on hunger strike, when we were in Long Cache, I was on hunger strike for about 12 or maybe 14 days. And there's an interesting history about all of this. Under the old Brehon laws, and Sean Downs referred to the Brehon Society, so the Brehon laws were the laws that were prevalent in Ireland before we were occupied. And they were actually very, very progressive laws. They were gender neutral. A woman could divorce her husband just by telling him to leave, that the marriage was over. There were lots of other very good bits of it. But one of the customs of the time was that if you had been offended by someone, or if someone had did something wrong to you, you went and you sat outside his door, and you fasted to bring embarrassment to them, to expose, to bring them to their senses, and so on. So the concept of hunger strike as a protest is also prevalent in Indian history. By Indian, I mean the continent of India, and Mahatma Gandhi used it many, many, many times as a resistance. It was a part of his culture as well as, interestingly enough, part of Irish culture. And prisoners through the ages, Republican prisoners, have employed the tactic of hunger strikes. Pat Sheehan was one of the hunger strikers in the H blocks of Long Cache who survived the hunger strike.